sometimes to get all these different things going for you guys. So hopefully those of you on Facebook and Instagram and now Zoom, right, welcome. We're excited for tonight. We've got a few interactive things, especially at the end. So stick around for Zoom at the end. We are finishing up our 6-part series of The Path. And so far we have spent 5 weeks learning from the book of Proverbs. So I'm going to recap really quickly what we have learned, right? So there's 5 different truths. Each week we kind of built upon one. So week number 1 was direction determines destination. So Brad kicked off the series going, whatever direction you're heading, that's ultimately where you're going to end up. That will be your destination, right? Not just our intentions. If I have good intentions, I want to end up there, but the actual direction that we're going. So week number 2, I then continued and said, along the way, you're going to need to make some course corrections. Every now and then, you're going to veer off of the path for some reason. You've got to see that, understand that, and go, all right, because of that's not the direction I want to go, that's not the destination that I want to end up at, I need to make some course corrections. We then talked about how our heart really matters in this. Our hearts, if we really just want to be blunt about it, they're wicked, they're easily deceived, but that's why we trust God with all of our hearts. Next, we talked about seeking wise counsel, right? Because our hearts sometimes can be easily deceived, we need to reach out to others who's been down the path before and go, hey, I need help. So get help along the way. Don't just seek one person's opinion, but get multiple people. And this is where students, I talked about not just relying on someone that's your own age, but someone that's a little bit older. So that brought us all the way to Brad, what he talked about last week about, we kind of circled back to truth number 1 when we talked about direction determines destination, that we also have to think about the attention, right? If I want to head in this direction, my attention has to be fixed on something. And so as we kind of catch you guys up, as we're thinking about Proverbs, I had a verse that popped into my head that I've been reading through the book of Proverbs. This is just kind of like we've been talking about, here's the positive things, but also this is somewhat of a warning. So in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 14 and 15, it says, do not enter the path of the wicked. Do not walk in the way of the evil. Avoid it. Do not go down it. Turn away from it and pass on. And that is our prayer for you guys, that your eyes would be so fixed on Jesus, right? Your attention is on Him, that you would make these wise decisions, you would stay on the right path, that you would avoid some huge mistakes in your life. Our hope is that you guys reach the destination of following Jesus your entire life. But tonight we're also going to not only talk about the destination of keeping Jesus first and foremost in our life, but we're going to talk about destinations like having goals. And as we look at this, we know that life doesn't always go according to plan, right? Some of you are saying, well, obviously, like, look at us tonight. We're recording a message instead of having you guys live in the building. Life doesn't go according to plan. But we want to address a really tough question tonight as we look at the book of Proverbs. And so this is the question that I'm going to have Clay pop up here in just a second, because we're going to be talking about we can't reach some of these destinations. They're unreachable. So what do you do when you realize that the destination you're trying to reach is unreachable? What do I do when I realize I'm not going to be able to get there? Here's another way that I wrote this. What do you do when your dreams don't come true? Or your hope in something is not going to be fulfilled? Because sadly, this is a reality of life. Things don't go according to plan. And sometimes, let me be honest with you, it's because of your own mistake or my mistake, right? You made a mistake, so you're not able to reach that destination. And sometimes that's lifestyle, like you're actually making these choices for yourself, whereas sometimes this is just a single choice. So you've made the mistake, right? It's your fault, but sometimes, guys, it's because decisions others have made. It's not even your decision, but someone else's decision has impacted. Now you're not able to reach that decision, right? So sometimes we're the ones to blame. Sometimes there's no one to blame. You just are not able to reach that destination because things are hard. But here's the result, right? When we're not able to reach our destination, and I want to be honest with you, it's heartbreaking. And maybe you guys have been there, right? We've ended up somewhere where we didn't want to go. If you've ever set goals for yourself, hopefully you guys do this, not just around the new year, right? Setting New Year's resolutions, but throughout the year, maybe a school year or the summer, you're like, here's my goal, here's what I want to accomplish. And sometimes those goals are met and you're like, yes. sometimes those goals are not met. So what do? What are we supposed to do when we realize this is not going to happen, right? I failed, or someone has failed me. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 12 is going to be our verse for tonight. It's a really small verse, but I believe this truth is one that we really need to grasp, right? It says hope deferred, or I like to say hope postponed, right? Hope that is drowned out makes the heart what? Here it is, that heartache. How many of you guys have ever heard the expression, the wind got knocked out of you? Boom, it hits you so hard, it's almost like my breath is taken away. Well, I want to be real with you guys, and I want to be open tonight. This is everybody. Our natural response when something doesn't go our way, or something that we've really wanted to go our way, we've prayed for it, we've asked God for this, and yet it doesn't happen. Guess what our natural response is? To feel heartache, to feel heartbroken. And that is natural. It's almost like it's out of our control. And it is. But his desire is still for us to put our hope and our trust in him. We don't need to stay defeated. We need to get back up. We need to keep pursuing him. And that's why these first 5 truths that we talked about along this series called The Path are so important. Tonight is just what happens if I don't reach a destination. Because unreached destinations can lead to bitterness. And this is something that if you're not careful, you won't even see it happening. But don't allow bitterness to creep in. I want you guys to realize that it's either bitter or a better focus on the Lord. And so as we focus in on God, we realize all the good that he has done and how he is walking us through these hard times, right? So we're going to be talking about the Apostle Paul tonight. We could look at Jesus, we could look at so many others, but I want to just focus in a little bit of Paul, and I'm going to ask you guys another question, right? So I ask, what do I do whenever I realize that I can't reach this destination? What do I need to do now that this destination cannot be reached? So I've got 4 different things for you tonight, right? Because heartache's coming. It's going to be tough. So the first thing, pray fervently. So in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 8 and 9, listen to what Paul is talking about. He says, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this. What? About this? Right? Back in verse 7, talks about this thorn in the flesh that was given to him. So he's pleading with the Lord. He's praying fervently. He's asking, God, watch, that it should leave me. God, I want this to go away from me. I'm fervently praying. There's something in my life that I need to be going. Watch what verse 9 says. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in your weakness. Paul could have easily gotten angry with God. And you know what? I probably think if he's thinking about pleading 3 different times, there's probably a little bit of Paul that was angry. He's upset for God. I'm serving you. I'm doing all these different things for you. Why will you not remove this? But we see, instead of Paul heading down this path of despair, instead of staying discouraged, instead of staying discouraged, he chose to pray and seek the Lord. So whenever you're walking through this, man, I just feel like there's no hope. Pray fervently. Number 2, as you're praying, right, we're probably asking, God, please change this. God, please remove this. God, please just fill in the rest, right? You guys have prayed those prayers. There's something difficult in your life. Just make it easier. Make this go away. But here's what I want to challenge you guys to do. Listen to God's voice. And back to verse 9, right? God speaks to Paul, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. And I can just see Paul scratching his head going, it's made perfect in weakness? Why can't you make weakness strong? And we're going to see that in just a little bit. So we listen to God's voice. Stop. Pause. Sometimes we're so focused, so worried about getting God to change it that we forget to listen to his voice. God sometimes will even say, this will stay with you, as he did for Paul, this thorn in the flesh. And we don't know what this is. Many people have speculated over the years. Some commentators say it's this, some say it's that. I don't know. But here's what I know. It was an annoyance in Paul's life. And he wanted it removed. And so he prayed fervently, but God said, this is going to stay with you. You're going to walk through this hardship. And I know that's kind of difficult for us to grasp, because as we read God's words, it's full of promises. It's full of truths that say, if you're obedient to God, he will bless you And those are 100% true. But there's also verses that talk about us walking through the valley of the shadow of death. There's a whole book about a man named Job who had so much that God had blessed him with, but yet God chose to test him. God chose to really see what his faith was made of and to show Satan really that he was a firm believer, that he wasn't just in it for the good, right? The book of James tells us that the testing of our faith produces steadfastness, this endurance. And so students, I want you to grasp this, that when we think about praying fervently, this isn't just a one-time thing. It's not just a 3-time thing. And I know I'm saying, well, in verse 8, 3 times he prayed. I believe this was prayed for so much more than just 3 times. But are we listening for God's voice? All right, point number 3. So what do I do when I realize that this destination is not going to be reached? Accept the reality of this. And that can be really, really hard, and find the good in it. Because as we're thinking about Paul, right, he wrote many of the books in the New Testament. We read this reference in Romans chapter 8, verse 28, and it's quoted so much, right? Some of you guys can quote this. And we know for those who love God, all things work together for good. And you go, well, how in the world can all things work together for good? Notice this last part. For those who are called according to his purpose. And I believe that as Paul is living his life, he is seeing this really played out. And here's why I want to focus in on Paul saying all things work together for good, because as we flip over to 2 Corinthians, actually back up just a little bit in chapter 11, I want to look at, I think it's verse 24 through 28. Some of you guys are saying, Brett, you don't know my situation, you don't know my hardship, right? There's no way that I can just accept this and find good in it. Like, God has to change this. Listen to what Paul says in verse 24 through 28. 5 times I received at the hands of the Jews 40 lashes less 1. 5 times he's been beaten. 40 times. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. You guys think you have it bad? Keep reading. 3 times I was shipwrecked. Like, I've wrecked a kayak. Nothing compared to a shipwreck, right? A night and a day I was adrift at sea. On frequent journeys and dangers from rivers, dangers from robbers, dangers from my own people, dangers from Gentiles, danger in the city, danger in the wilderness, danger at sea, danger from false brothers, in toil and hardship, through many sleepless nights, and hunger and thirst, often without food, and cold and exposure. Apart from the other things, there is the daily pressure on me of the anxiety for all the churches. Whoa. I don't know if you guys feel the weightiness of what Paul is saying there, of the hardships that he is walking through. And yet, my grace will be sufficient for you in verse 9. My power is made perfect, right? Continuing verse 9, it says, therefore I will boast all the more gladly for my weakness. So he's walking through this, but yet he's saying, wow, this is how Christ is showed off. This is why I can boast. Because yes, in my weakness, he is making me strong. And the last point, use the hardship for God's glory. So as Paul is walking through life, and I believe that Jesus shows us this too, like as he's on the cross, Father, let your will be done. Like he's enduring this hardship for the Father's glory. Paul's life, all of the things that he walked through, for me to live is Christ, to die is gain. For the sake of Christ, I'm in verse 10, then I am content. Student, can we be content when we realize there's a destination that we so desired, but that we're not going to make it to? Paul says, I'm content with weakness, these insults, these hardships, persecutions, calamities, for while I am weak, I am strong. And man, what a challenge. So as we kind of wrap up tonight, right, we've been walking along this path. We've been trying to teach these different truths to help you along the way. Listen to what John says in chapter 16, verse 33, right? This is Jesus speaking. In this world, he said, I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. Man, do we need peace right now in this world? In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart. Notice Jesus' words. I have overcome the world. And I wanted to focus in on that first part, right? In the world you will have tribulations. You will have hardships, but notice the second part. But take heart. I have overcome the world. Right back to our verse in Proverbs chapter 13. It kind of has the same setup. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, But notice the second part. But a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. Sometimes these desires change. And there's so many moments in my life, if I could just share them with you. In college, I thought this was a destination that I had to have. I thought that I wanted it, and I was wrecked when I didn't get what I wanted. That was my desire, but God changed my desire. He then fulfilled it, and guess what? He gave me even something better. Right? Notice how that verse ends, the tree of life. What a beautiful image this is, of a tree that is growing, that's bearing fruit, right? So as we wrap up, God has a plan for you. God has a plan for me. Think about all the good that He has done for you. Don't just focus on the times of disappointment. And I think that's the hardest part, students, as we're talking about, like, yeah, I know that God is good, but man, look at the hardship that some of you guys have walked through. You will walk through. Or if you haven't yet, get prepared. Because Scripture teaches us, yes, we have a hope, we have a peace in Christ, but man, there's some difficult times ahead. So stay on the path. Keep growing closer to Him. That's ultimately, like, if I could wrap up, what are we trying to communicate? What have we spent 6 weeks talking about? Keep your eyes on Jesus. Stay on this path. Realize that you're going to make mistakes. Sometimes you're going to veer off because of what someone else says to you. You're going to be distracted. But even being distracted, we can humble ourselves. We can repent. We can look back to Jesus. We can pursue Him. And so that's our prayer as a student ministry. We don't know if some of you guys right now, through this quarantine, through this time of not meeting together, if you guys have pursued Jesus well. Some of you, I'm excited, you've kept in contact with us. And I can see this. But some of you, we just haven't heard from you. And it may be a super discouraging time for you. Some of you guys may feel so isolated that you're just done with this. But my hope and my prayer is that through this time, we have pointed you to Jesus. You have got your own time with Jesus. You have grown closer to Him. Maybe this has been a hard time. But I pray that you're really seeing it tonight. Like the light bulb goes off. All the puzzle pieces, if you will, have come together and you see it clearly tonight. This path, and it is so rewarding. It's beautiful. And all the things that the world has to offer, they don't even come close. So I want you guys to bow your heads with me. Just for a second, I want you to process. Right? What path am I on right now? Which direction am I heading? All the way back to the beginning, right? What has my attention? Where am I going? Do you need to make a course change tonight? And if so, be bold. Reach out to someone else. Tell them, hey, here's what God revealed to me. Here's what the Holy Spirit said. And I want to share it because I need accountability. Right? Get help along the way. So that's my summary. I hope that tonight you were challenged. Right? There's some things you're not going to reach. But I hope that together as a student ministry, we can push you. You can stay on this path together. All right, so I'm going to grab a guitar here in a second, and we're going to sing a song. So the song we're going to sing tonight is called Great Are You, Lord.
So, those of you that are joining us on Facebook, Instagram, Zoom, we are so glad that you guys are doing that. We're getting ready to set up for a game, but let me share a couple things with you. First of all, if you don't know, we have a text line. So like if you have some questions or some things that are going on in your life and you can't reach out to us, this is our text number, 636-271-5617. All right, 636-271-5617. So you can reach out to us. That goes straight to Brett, and we will get in touch with you. The other thing, we have really enjoyed this online, whatever you want to call it, like doing this online, but we are really excited to see you guys in person. And so next week, we have Realm on the Lot. All right, so we're going to be on the lot next week, 6:30 to 8 p.m. We are going to have Midweek on the Lot. You can be dropped off at 6:15. You need to be picked up by 8 o'clock, and we are going to ask you guys to do your best to social distance the entire time. I know it's hard. I know we're going to want to see each other, hug each other, high-five each other, all that kind of stuff, but we're going to say, please, 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 to the best you can, practice social distancing. If you want to wear a mask, you can wear a mask. They're optional. We're going to play games. We're going to have worship. We're going to have a sermon. We're going to have all of those things, as well as some food. We're going to have McDoubles and McChickens and chips and drinks. It's all going to be prepackaged, so it's not going to have to worry about like sanitation for that. If your parents are uncomfortable still with you coming to a physical gathering, though, we would love for you to still join us online. We're going to have a video on Facebook and Instagram TV that we'll post, all right? And then we're going to have to go back to online for a few weeks, and we'll talk about that in a moment, but I see the table set up, and I'm ready to watch these boys cry. So I'm going to ask Brett and Josiah to come back, or Brett to come back up here, Josiah to join me. We're going to play a little game called the Hot Seat, all right? Oh, there we go. It's kind of working, kind of not working. I don't know what's going on. I hope you guys can hear us. We added a microphone to see. I don't know. But how are you guys doing?
I'm a little nervous.
You're a little nervous? I see you guys are taking a drink before we start in our nice, can I see that? These new Realm Students water bottles. We'll have these when we all get back. We'll have these all available for $10.
Seniors already got some, too.
And the seniors already got some as a gift from us, all right? So here's what we're playing. We're playing a game called the Hot Seat. We've got some chips here. They're called Pocky chips, not to be confused with hockey chips. I don't know what a hockey chip is, but don't eat that. We start at the not hot, and we work our way up. Is this for me? Do I have bread? Is this in front of me?
That's for if we're burning.
Oh, okay. So do you want to take a piece of bread and set it over there by you? Because right now everyone is saying that you are the wimp.
I know.
I've gotten lots of comments
now,
and texts.
I have to prove myself.
You do.
So
you do.
You know what? I think Josiah's going to do just fine here because I've seen him eat some spicy things. Like we've been preparing ourselves
turn this off
for this day.
This is awkward.
Yeah.
I think we can project loud enough and you guys can hear us. So the way this game's going to go, we're going to start with these chips right here. These are really good. These Pocky chips. Pocky again, not Pocky. Mucho Nacho. I'm glad this was a bag that wasn't open, so I know that only these chips are in here. And I know we're not practicing social distancing, so I apologize for that. We're going to get close, but that's so you can all see us. They're seriously cheesy, but not hot. All right, I like these. All right, so the way it's going to work, we're going to start with some chips here. I'm just going to give you a few. And I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to answer those questions. And you're going to eat the chips. We won't linger on these very long because they're nothing. But let's give a question. Yeah. We'll work our way up. You ready? All right. So here we go. Here's our first question. They're just going to talk about their life. How would your friends describe you? We'll start with Josiah. How would your friends describe you?
Well, I would hope they would describe me as a nice guy and extremely funny.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
Funny?
Right?
Yeah, you're funny. I would
Extremely
say
funny.
Maybe somewhat funny.
Somewhat funny. There we go.
I would describe Joe as somewhat quiet though. until you get to know him. He doesn't talk a whole bunch.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
Okay, so for me, I would
think
say
we
you can sum me up in one word: energetic. I think that'd be a good word for me.
Energetic?
Yeah,
Abby's in
like
the
I'm
room.
bouncing
Abby,
off the walls.
Yeah.
That's me.
You gotta crank it up. We're
Okay.
gonna crank it up because
So
that's
we're increasing
boring.
the heat.
We're increasing the heat. This is kind of hot.
I really like these chips.
I ate one. This is hot enough. Let me just say that. This is a good heat, but I can feel it,
Joe and I don't even feel this.
Yeah.
and I'm okay
I would
with this.
almost say I might prefer the a little bit hotter ones.
Yeah.
Really?
This
All right, we
tastes
need
very
another
nice.
question, Clay,
Just
to keep this conversation going.
Energetic.
This is good. Energetic. I don't know if I would describe you as that. You know,
Oh, lucky.
that Clay's.
Do it again.
Clay's joined us. If you didn't know, we're breaking him in well. He's running the computer. So, what
Yeah,
if
he's
you could go
frozen.
back in time, Brett, and change one thing? What would it be? Ooh, this is a dangerous question.
So it's a dangerous question. So there was this one time that Jason and I were headed back to college, and the roads were icy.
Jason from our church.
Jason from our church,
Yeah.
he married Courtney,
Yeah.
and we were trying to get back to college on this icy day, and we ended up sliding into a curb. My wheel hit it, kind of messed up my car, and I got stuck in Arnold that night. Thankfully, reached out to some friends from Arnold, and we got the car fixed, and we were back up.
I
would probably go back and fix that one.
I remember that night.
Yep.
Josiah, you begin thinking, but we're gonna move to. So we jumped from kinda hot to super hot. But let me tell you about that night. I remember specifically telling this guy, "Don't leave, like stay," and then that happened. So it was pretty good.
So basically, always listen to you.
That is exactly right.
Get help
So
along the
are you
way.
ready to jump
Proverbs.
in?
That's a
That's a
good
good answer. That's a good answer. But you're gonna answer this question, but I think we're gonna go ahead and jump up to
I'll,
super hot.
Go ahead, Joe.
Super hot. I'm done. I'm done. Like this will be my bag of chips.
Actually,
All right,
How's that feel?
What was
Hey,
the question? Oh, I
if
know.
we can get 10 people on
That's good.
Facebook or Instagram to say Brad needs to eat this, will you do it? 10
If
people.
10 people, we
Yeah.
gotta have 10
All right,
people.
come on,
That's
guys.
for
Come on, guys.
students.
We need
Not
10
adults.
students. Invite some others real
Get your
fast.
kids in there.
We need Brad to keep
And
going.
I'll do. So this, guys, is the. So this green bag was a zesty salsa verde. It was really good, kind of hot. That's where I like. This is the fiery chili limon, as Brett says, limon,
Limon.
and it's super hot with 100% real
I feel that
ingredients.
one,
So
Joe.
you guys,
I'm starting to feel it, yeah.
Keep eating
I
though,
think,
'cause I got another bag of this one.
A problem for
Um,
me now, the fact that we have milk and water out open.
Yeah,
and
but-
just drink, it's very tempting.
Yeah, and if they take, you got 3. Yeah, they're going a long way away.
Come on,
from
guys.
it.
We need
Um,
10.
But
If we get to 15, can you do this one?
yeah, we don't have 15 students watching.
Guys,
right now.
he's just
Yeah.
challenged you. We need 15 people so Brad
Students.
Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
You can
Invite 6.
Yeah.
Keep them coming, guys.
I'm not scared. I mean.
You better be.
I'm
There
not
we
scared.
go.
Keep
Yes,
it.
yes.
Can
Hang on.
we-
Abby says 9.
And I want,
Clay.
if you could change one thing.
I would.
10.
Hey, there we go.
All right.
All right.
Hey,
one thing.
15 for this one,
Listen,
Brad.
no, those were students. Lying is a sin.
They were people.
No, I said students.
Students.
All right.
But just because I'll eat one chip.
He should be afraid of this.
Yeah, that one's.
Let's try that one.
I'm feeling the heat start a little
Yeah,
bit, Joe.
This is actually kind of good though. That's
Yeah.
good flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah,
you could
no,
change
for-
one thing,
I'm gonna go in the same category.
All right.
yeah.
The only time I've ever like hit somebody myself, I was backing up out of the neighborhood, and it was like right on the edge. So I thought, maybe that's I might as well instead of going all the way around, turn around. But I was backing up, and I didn't see the guy coming in, so I
Yeah.
backed into him, and it was my fault. So.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Brad's bailing already, guys.
Mm-hmm. Hey, done. One chip. I'm not playing this game. I
I
said
can-
that from the very beginning.
Is my face getting a little red? I can.
That's
feel it.
hot, and that's just super hot.
Keep eating, Joe.
Yeah.
I would eat a
Yeah,
No,
I
you
wanna
gotta,
see-
you gotta keep
My
them
bad.
up.
We're gonna get another
Water
question
right now.
for Brett on the
Or-
super hot here.
I accidentally flipped a 4-wheeler. That might be the one I go back and do.
Keep pounding these super hot chips.
I've
Brett.
done that too.
How's the heat?
There's still good flavor, so it's bearable. But
I
I'm,
just got some in my throat though.
yeah. Joe and I understand.
Don't
that.
rub your eyes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Can we-
Question for Brett.
Question for Brett. Well, that's going.
Yeah.
Don't rub your eyes. The question for Brett: what did you want to be when you were little? Big. You wanted to be big.
When I was little,
When I was
what did
little,
I wanted to be?
I wanted to be big, right? You wanted to be an adult. By the way, I don't know if
Yeah.
you can see, but we have a guest here, Ataya, my doggie. So when you were little, what did you want to be?
I wanted. Sorry to talk with my mouth full here. Actually, I just sucked some down.
Well, we have milk. We have milk.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's milk.
I'm not bowing out. I know you guys.
I'm starting to see a few tears.
It's building.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to be a policeman, I think. Mom, Dad, maybe you can correct me if I was wrong, but I think I wanted to be a policeman or a fireman, like to save people, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
Are you still eating, Josiah?
I've been eating this
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean-
What
It's
did
a
you
little
want?
hard.
What did you want to be?
I always wanted to be a doctor, and one part of that was because my mom saw my handwriting and was like, "Man, that's like a doctor's handwriting. It's so bad."
So it's really bad.
Yeah,
I've
it's
seen
so
your
bad.
handwriting.
It
It's
is- yeah.
it's in my realm of bad handwriting.
Yeah.
Which is bad.
Yeah,
I just scratched my nose. That burns.
We were playing a game on Wednesday night, and you guys were sending in answers, and Joe had to write them down, and he passed me the sheet of paper, and I really struggled to type, like, what did you write me, Joe?
So how are we doing? How are you feeling?
I think these are no problem for us,
Yeah.
Joe.
Mhm.
We're
Well, then
ready, we're ready.
Put a couple more in your mouth there. I want to see at least a couple more chips in your
I
mouth.
will-
While we get
I will-
another question. Yeah,
I
yeah.
know not to, but it's so tempting
I
just to have
know. It's just right there.
or even, like, the bread doesn't really do it for me yet.
So we got a question coming up. It's going to be, what would you sing at karaoke night?
It's Joe's turn.
It is
Yeah.
Joe's turn. But so this white one. This is the hottest that we have outside of this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's open. It doesn't really have a smell, but I think you need to build up to it just a
Okay.
little bit.
Joe, you better not be cheating and grabbing the other chips
Mhm.
either.
You can actually see
I've
the
only
difference
got 3
between
of
the two
these,
of
but
these.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you could sing a song at karaoke,
I'm a big Disney fan, so I'd probably go with "Let It Go" from Frozen.
Whoa.
can you eat a chip and give us a little
Yeah.
little round?
What would I sing?
Let it go, let it go.
Let it
Can't hold me back anymore.
Yeah. Hey, I just want everyone to know, I don't know how well you can see this, but Brett is flushed.
I am
Brett has some tears in his eyes. Josiah,
I'm getting there.
he's getting there.
He hasn't
His
even
glasses
seen it.
are fogging up just a little bit. So, if you could sing a song, Brett, at karaoke night, what would it be? We heard your beautiful voice tonight, by the way. Thank you.
Probably. So I like to try to sing in a falsetto, weirdly, to go up really high. So I would probably sing like a Kelly Clarkson song or something.
Ooh.
I know.
We just all need to know Kelly Clarkson is his favorite artist.
She is. Like,
You
girl's
didn't
got
know
pipes,
that.
girl can sing.
You
I
didn't
don't-
know that about Brett Jones.
Yeah.
So, could you go ahead and put this chip,
Is
this
that
nice
the
big
hot
one, this nice big one. This is still the purple bag.
He's building us up.
Yeah, is it?
Oh, I want the water.
Yeah,
I want
and
the
'cause-
water.
'cause we're really wanting to make sure that this is worth the money that we spent on it.
Mhm.
So, can you put that chip in your mouth and give us a Kelly Clarkson song?
Which Kelly Clarkson song?
I don't know, the karaoke song you would sing.
I know, but like.
She's your favorite artist, not mine.
Behind these hazel
I'm
eyes.
sweating.
Yeah, how does it start?
Oh.
Once again, now again.
Can you do it with the chip? Ooh. Yeah, can you do that? That's
Oh my God!
Yeah. All right.
Oh my God!
All right. So
All right, I finished my purple ones.
I'm gonna. Here's how we're gonna.
Probably
do this.
strip
You wanna-
it down
I
now.
wash my hands.
Yeah, I don't-
All right.
I don't mind.
So
Is that not
here's
right
one
one?
of these guys. I want to just no. I put it on the bread. That's probably really bad for
Yeah.
you later.
So I gotta be-
I was.
Go
All right,
ahead.
Yeah, go
Joe, ready?
ahead. We're gonna get a
Yeah,
song.
all
A question while you're eating that.
Go a lot higher.
Have you had a nickname, and what is it?
Oh,
It doesn't even taste good.
no.
It's
How-
just
how-
like-
do these
They
taste?
just burned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, while you're thinking of your
Okay,
nickname,
I do.
these are the ones that have the. I don't like this word, but it's freaking hot. They're freaking hot, and it
Is your
says
leg
warning.
tapping?
Is
Like-
it?
It normally is, but
Um,
I'm surprisingly not.
These are just straight. There's no like. They like mucho nacho cheese.
I
and
think
like
Clay accidentally got a hold
zesty-
of one of these too,
Zesty salsa
and his
verde.
face just went.
Fiery. I like how Brett said accidentally.
Yeah.
They set him up.
Joe, another chip.
Fiery
He
chili.
doesn't hate it.
Fiery. You have the same amount of chips.
How many he had?
Two. This was two. You're
I
still on
already
your
ate
second
two.
one, little guy. I notice I say all these things and I bowed out already, just so I'm fully aware of that.
Do we have legit 10?
We do.
10 students?
Yes.
That was just this bag. I can do that.
Oh, come on, Brad.
No, that was 15.
Give the kids what they want.
We might need to get another bag just for Brad.
No. These are straight haunted ghost pepper chips.
I'm having to focus on breathing now.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
How's the breathing going?
I'm not thinking
Does
clearly.
the air
It's a
hurt?
lot of breathing in.
Yeah, it's like
Breathing out is what hurts, honestly.
yeah. The in is cold, hot is out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can start to feel like
Right now you're ahead of him.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I'm gonna lay these out. What's your nickname?
My nickname, I haven't always been.
I have a little bit there.
I never liked it, but it was JoJo. A lot of people started calling me JoJo.
Yeah.
Joe is fine, but JoJo, let's not do that one, all right, guys?
All right, pound that chip there,
I
Brett.
think that's fair.
What's your nickname?
So ironically, my nickname was Milk in high school.
Milk is good, by the way.
It really is. So tempting right now.
Why milk?
Milk is good.
So
Milk
during
is
the
good.
basketball practice,
Milk is the thing you drink when your mouth is on fire. By the way,
I
guys.
was at
not
the
water.
free throw line, and we did this thing at the end of practice. My hands were like tingling.
Yeah.
Kind of like the moment, like I got nervous and I went to
You're
shoot the free
getting
throw.
really red. I don't know how well that shows up. It's getting close. Yeah.
So I shot the shot, and whoop, there it wasn't. And
Oh, there it is.
straight air ball. And so like they say, drink more milk, get strong bones. And they're like, I needed to be stronger to get it there. So
I'm so good.
I just want you to see
I feel like
how many.
You might have played a
no,
few extra.
No, there was big. No, I counted.
Look
I
at
counted.
that.
I counted the chips out, just so you know.
That's good.
Brett's wife is starting to worry about him. She's like, that's the husband of my child. We need another question for Josiah.
I started with this one. That's true.
Yeah. No.
Right?
Oh, that's right. That's right. This is your turn. If money was no object, what would you do all day? Eat chips.
right now I'd want something cold
Like cold milk?
all day.
You can bow out.
Nope.
Okay.
I will make it to this.
Okay. You still got to finish that chip and these two, because Josiah's on his last one.
There's no way.
I counted them out.
bag.
He was over here pounding them.
Joe's-
He was over here pounding
true,
them.
I ate a
He
lot
was
of
over here
them.
pounding
Right.
them. He was just deciding, don't give my dog one
What
of
was
these
the
chips.
question?
I thought of it.
Like, what was the question?
If money was not an
Yeah.
option, what would you do all day? Are you struggling?
I'm struggling, guys.
What's it feel like?
Like I got it in the back of the throat now.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do because I'm trying to breathe.
Breathe.
I would go to the beach. I would go to the beach, just relax.
That's good. Just
And
come
I'm
up
not.
with a quick.
No, wait. I would lay in a hammock, and the breeze would come.
What would you do as you finish your last chip,
I
by the way?
would be traveling somewhere, so probably somewhere cold, Iceland in particular,
Yeah.
or Alaska.
Yeah.
Our friend now,
I like to travel.
Oh, don't let my dog eat that chip.
untie us.
Maybe like a nice slip and slide or
All
a
right.
pool day. You know?
Don't look that.
Okay. Did you finish yours? Yep. That's really good, guys. You guys did the freaking hot.
Do we have tissue?
I'm sure Abby can get some back there by
Is
the.
that allowed?
Yeah, we could have some tissue to wipe your eyes. Just be careful though. You don't want to wipe the spice in there. So I'm getting this ready. This is
My
the
nose is
one
starting
chip
to run.
challenge.
Oh, it's
The
good.
goal on the one chip challenge is to eat this one chip.
We gotta do Zoom after
but,
this.
But we're going to split the chip because both these guys feel they can take it. If you watch
Are
the,
your lips trembling?
Yeah.
this is eat at your own risk. Are you guys good? Do we need to sign a waiver? What are you doing? That's just going to be worse.
I lied. I did so.
You.
What?
This is the one chip challenge.
I'll make
You know, you can bow out and we just let Josiah finish this.
No,
I mean, we need our youth pastor. You know.
I'm going all in, guys, because we have an all-in challenge around
Hey,
here.
Brett, try one of the regular cheesy ones
Do
now.
they help? Or are they hot too?
It's not.
I hope this is
Yeah,
good
it's not
content for
making
you
better.
guys. You guys are hanging out with us.
These
These are good. Those are okay.
We'll try
Don't go to the purple. Yeah. Mouth on fire.
I got.
You're already there,
I've
though,
got
right?
goosebumps.
Short-term loss of speech. Yeah, when you impaired vision from tears. All right. That's what this one chip challenge says.
My ears just popped.
Yep.
Did yours?
Yeah, they're
So
they're
like,
really clear now.
it's black. Like the chip itself is black. Like I'm scared to like open it.
It's black?
Yeah, there's like, it broke up, just so you guys know, on its own. So the way I can I'm gonna try
I'm
my
good.
best to
We
pull.
can do this.
Do you feel that's fair?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, that's,
Joe is like muscles twitching?
Yeah.
So,
I have muscles.
And it's all shit.
Like,
so we need a question, and then,
I can do this.
we're gonna let you eat it, and then I wanna see how you, so your question is, if you were a superhero, what powers would you have, alright? So let's do a countdown for the chips
Okay.
Are
together.
you going like all in, Joe, or just
Yeah.
like
I'm going all.
So 5,
Mine's bigger.
This is weird. This
4,
is a weird feeling. My mouth is just tingling all
yeah.
over.
3, 2,
Who's answering the question?
1.
think
We're
I
gonna
am.
go Josiah first.
We're on PayPal chips.
That's gross.
How are we doing, guys? Are we going to even be able to answer this question?
That's nasty.
Is it bad taste or is it hot?
I don't want to swallow.
This is gross. This is bad taste.
It has a bad taste.
Bro,
Yeah.
I can smell it.
Yeah.
But you guys aren't
This is
freaking
bad.
out. You guys are doing pretty good.
Or because I'm telling myself not to go.
Is it that bad?
It's really hot.
It's really hot? Is it the hottest thing you've ever eaten?
Did you swallow?
I just did. Yeah, it is bad.
Don't
don't
breathe.
choke.
Just swallow.
It gets worse after you swallow, so just give it a few seconds.
There it is. For all
Oh.
you voted for me.
So
Alright,
you both have hung in here. Let's see if you can answer this question, and then we'll give you some.
I want to
milk here.
fly.
That would be. How is
Oh,
it?
it's hot.
Yeah. Like how hot?
The more air you get, the worse it is.
What would be your superhero thing?
I'd want to read minds.
Okay. All right. Good. There's some milk here. I think you should
Wait,
down that.
Brett,
milk.
why would you want to fly?
Whoa!
Get back.
Is it getting bad or better?
Bad.
Okay.
It's burning my throat really
Yeah.
bad.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah. I would take some milk. I would
Joe?
take some milk.
Yeah?
You ready?
Yeah.
Down the milk. Down the milk there, my friends. You guys are an amazing youth workers to be able to do that.
Oh, I'm crying.
Yeah?
My stomach is like
Do you see my tear? My tear, Dad. I just had a
You have a
full-on
tear. Yeah.
Oh. I didn't think at first, just because it tasted nasty, it was that hot.
Yeah. And then the heat kicked in. Clay, we have that whole jug of milk somewhere. But I think you guys should probably go for this.
We're
It's got the black chip on it.
Yeah.
We're gonna need everything. I'm crying.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys go take care of yourself. We're gonna wrap up the live and then switch over to the Zoom link. 'Cause you guys did so good. Yep, and get you guys lots of milk, lots of milk. All right.
My hand's shaking.
You guys did awesome. Hey, so that was the hot seat. I think we had 2 really good participants there. They hung in. There's no way I could have done that. There's no way. So when you get to see them live next week, you're gonna have to just like tell them how amazing they are that they did that for you guys to get online, all right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave the Facebook and Instagram feed up for just a little bit because we're going to post in the chat, all right? We're going to post in the chat the link to our Zoom, but we're going to take just a little bit of a break. So if you're already on Zoom, that's great. Just hang out for just a second, and we're going to follow up with some questions, all right? And you guys can ask Brett and Josiah how they're doing because that'll probably be a lot of the questions for them is just how they're doing. So we'd love for you to jump on to Zoom. I'm going to come around. So we're going to leave this up for just a little bit on Facebook and Instagram. And we're going to post the Zoom link. And then there's a waiting room. If you've never gotten into our Zoom, there's a waiting room. And we'll admit you. We're just going to keep everything muted for just a little bit, all right? So first off, we're going to post that link.
Hey, the bread really helps.